Why do people hate Ubuntu so much? A popular sport in the Linux community is being absurdly opinionated over objectively minor issues. People will issue flaming denunciations of this distro or that window manager or the other media player on the basis of the most trivial objections. They are obviously enjoying themselves, and diversity of choice is kind of the whole point of the Linux FOSS ecosystem, so just take it with a pinch of salt and make your own judgments based on actual facts cited rather than the emotional intensity of the delivery. I'd upvote this more if I could. People want to hop distros all day and will find literally any reason to do so. We use Ubuntu LTS in production at work and it has been great. Landscape and LXD are really great technologies as well. I guess I don't care for snaps, but I don't hate them, either. I feel like your post lacks the proper emotional zealotry/s. You sound like a guy who uses Emacs. I have invested 20 years of my life into using Emacs. I still feel barely qualified to say I am an Emacs user. For some Ubuntu haters the reason is snap packages, the reasons against which you can read about here, link to Reddit. Snaps suck. For example, this 7+ year issue is just so ridiculous. Link to Launchpad. I can't use snaps in my environments just because my home in the form of. What bothers me most about snap packages is how intolerably slow they are compared to debs or flatpaks. Ubuntu is still the go-to distro for a lot of new users, especially in the corporate world, and snaps are such a terrible first impression of Linux will give the impression that Linux is slow. It's a detriment to the adoption of Linux. Plus the speed is only half the problem too. Stuff like file access and screen capture may not work out of the box. Yes, this is a security feature, not a bug, but to a new user it just looks like Ubuntu not working. On the other hand, the advantages of snaps and flatpaks are largely for devs, so the users won't appreciate them as anything other than a source of problems. I went into more detail here because this is the internet. In real life you'll see most people not care at all. What you see is the typical noisy idiots having a strong opinion they want to share with everyone. See also politics, religion, car brands, text editor, programming language, etc. Text editor. It's Notepad through wine or nothing. I'm more of a fan of using Edit with DOSBox. 2 reasons. It has a bit user base. This will mean more people get a chance to use it and dislike it, and also others who don't use it may think it is eating their cake. Hate for Canonical. It has done some good things but it also messes up a lot. It will often try to go it alone with a semi-proprietary solution only to row back years later. Canonical also has a habit of claiming to have done the development of things it has not touched. Canonical also has a habit of claiming to have done the development of things it has not touched. There was an animated chart that did the rounds a few weeks ago of the top 10 contributors to open source software. Canonical do not feature in the top 10 for any of the years covered, which means they contribute less than Facebook. Even if their only contribution to the community was taking other people's code and combining it into the most noob-friendly distribution, I'd see that as a big win. In my country we have an proverb, big trees catch a lot of wind. Ubuntu is simply the biggest distro, probably by a good margin. It also caters to the average Linux user. This makes it an easy target for power users who want to vent their own supremacy about running a rolling release distro with i3. In my country we have an proverb, big trees catch a lot of wind. That's a wonderful saying I will now use. Thanks for sharing. One of the most ironic things is that the people who hate on Ubuntu often run distros that are essentially Ubuntu with some custom themes. Yeah, some of Canonical's decisions weren't great, but the work they put in to make desktop Linux viable is hard to overstate. How certain are you that most haters are running a Ubuntu derivative? When you consider the family trees, Ubuntu might have the largest of the Debian-based distros. But there are many other progenitor distros, like Debian, with their own family trees. The scope of Ubuntu-based distro users pales in comparison to the greater universe of all Linux distributions. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button and subscribe for more videos like this one.